by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Products and treatments discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Make your physician aware of all nutritional supplements used and immediately notify your physician if you have any health concern or undiagnosed sign or symptom. Let's Talk Nutrition is a health talk show that features scientists, authors, nutrition specialists, personal trainers, holistic healers, and experts in traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation to help. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition with Dr. Michael Garko. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Copy. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for stopping by. Let's Talk Nutrition. And we're right here, and you're right there, and everybody's here at the station. It's all good. We're ready to go. And hope you had a good week. And we're headed into the weekend, of course. And, that's when people can get into trouble, but we'll try to remind you about that. And I'm always looking for interesting, sort of off the beaten path stories and studies. And there's a lot out there. Some of it, just nonsense. Other
I was getting ready to ask you. I'm like, do you look at stories that come over? I mean, because you do a lot of reading, a lot
every day.
And do you look at stories?
You have no idea. You think you know. When I leave here, I'm still reading.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I text you or whatever at night, and I know you realize you're still working. But do you look at stuff and go, "There's no way that they did a proper study on something"? And does it make you want to research it more?
No, it depends on the topic. And what you learn, Gary, is that to do these studies takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And some of the studies are so shoddy, I won't even report them. Now, if it makes the mainstream, if a study makes the mainstream and I see that there was a lot of room for improvement in the way they did it, then I'll comment on it. But I'm constantly trying to call through the stuff and pull out those studies that the audience they might find just even a little bit of interest, but no more than that, something that could be useful to them. For example, now you go to long ago, well, maybe not all that long ago, you go to the grocery store and you go to the produce section. And what you would find, for the most part, would be a pretty much unprocessed food. Mm-hmm. What do I mean by that? Anything that's put in a bag, anything that's pre-washed, the minute they start to, that's processing. Now, there's processing and then there's processing. Pre-washing vegetables, putting them in the bag is processing. Now, at first blush, you might think this trend, years ago, you would have never found that. The vegetables and the fruit is there, and you select it, put it in your bag, and, now it's much of it, a lot of it is pre-bagged, pre-washed. Seems like a good idea, right?
Right.
Well, maybe. We'll see. I'm going to share with you something that I came across the transom about do bagged salad greens hold their nutrients?
I eat a lot of bagged salad greens.
Okay.
I eat a lot.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Are you going to do the fasting story? I'm from the other day. I still have it because I want to talk about it, about the fasting boosting metabolism. And
yeah, we can.
Please, because I want to talk about that.
All right. I had selected it and never got to it. and we'll talk about that. And now, I know there's a pretty sizable portion of the audience that eats meat. And that's fine. You know, I don't, but that's okay. When meat starts to take on a science fiction tone, one might want to think twice. I kid you not. They're growing meat in a lab, man. And you're going to be able to buy it. Not too long from now. I'll tell you what that's I know, it's strange.
You get to see the look I'm giving you, right?
Lab-grown meat. I kid you not, Gary. How do they do that? We'll share that as well. See, I mean, at first you think, wait a minute, bagged vegetables, pre-washed. There's no story in that. Perhaps there is. I have purchased pre-washed salad greens. I've done that when I'm in a rush. But we'll see. You can participate in the conversation. I have a couple more things up my sleeve. Science fiction meat, I call it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sci-fi meat. Oh, my goodness. Eat meat with your meat.
Yeah.
There are probably people that eat meat with their meat and then follow it up with meat for a dessert.
With gravy.
Yeah, it's gravy. Here's how to connect to the show. You may have something that's, that is along those lines, a little off the beaten path. We'll explore that today, and then I'll get us back on the highway too.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Or anywhere at the sound of my voice at 813-636-8255. Follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, on Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition, and on Twitter at LTN Radio. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is all closed captioned and archived, and we have a playlist on there now. So, and if you have Roku, you can get Let's Talk Nutrition on Roku through the YouTube channel. So we're expanding even more if you want to watch the show on Roku.
You have to explain what Roku is.
Now, Roku, if you have bought a television in the past year or year and a half, Roku comes usually on your smart TV. And you can go on there, and it's got a setting for YouTube. You download that setting for YouTube, and you look for Let's Talk Nutrition on YouTube, and we can play on your Roku.
But what is Roku? Is it what kind of platform is it?
It's what you'd call like a streaming service now, but it's almost like cable. It's almost like having your own personal built cable. So, like, if you don't want...
Do they show movies on there?
Yes, they show movies. They do TV shows. They have their own Roku channel specials. And
is it a network?
It's more like just a service.
A service.
So,
all right. Let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida. Joe, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
How you doing, Doc?
I'm good.
Listen, I think what you mentioned about doing meat in a lab. Well, you heard about cloning animals. They'll probably clone a steak or a ribeye or some good burgers, and they'll probably clone it. But I just want to give you my recipe for tonight's dinner. I'm really excited. It's very simple. Fran's making escarole with Italian white beans in a vegetable broth.
Oh, so is it like a soup?
Yeah. Well, it's like a soup, but it's with escarole in there, fresh escarole.
Oh, that's good. That sounds good.
What do you think?
You're using cannellini beans?
Yep.
Cannellini beans. Yeah. And so what else do you have in there?
With organic vegetable broth and escarole, fresh escarole.
Okay. I would put I would add some oregano. I would add some parsley.
Oh yeah. We're going to season it. Yes, we're going to definitely
some garlic.
But I'm just telling you the main ingredients.
I would saute some garlic in vegetable broth before I add anything. Saute some garlic and some other spices in the pot with vegetable broth, not olive oil. and then
No.
then start to add the other ingredient. But first, I would saute some spices. Well, you're not too far from from your talking about cloning meat. You're pretty close. I know you're joking around, but they're going to be the latest craze in the food industry is what they call clean meat. And how do they do it? When we come back, I'm going to tell you about this clean meat. So you're going to be able to buy meat grown in a lab. Science fiction meat. Joe, you sound like you have a nice dinner tonight. That's good, man. You're on the ball.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day, giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Figure's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
science fiction meat. Can't make it up, man. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Unbelievable. Just when you think, and then, yeah. There's a story trending, and I came across it, giving them attribution, on CNN, believe it or not. And this, in the food industry right now, there is this trend to make what they call clean meat. Put clean in parentheses. Clean meat. What does that mean? They wash it with it. Well, what it means is it's meat that's grown in a lab. How do they do that? Using stem cells. They extract stem cells from animals and then grow and multiply those cells in the lab to make a piece of meat. So your local butcher now has a PhD in what, some food-related discipline. Can you? Let me see. The cells. Dr. Mark Poe, CEO of Moza Meats, says that, quote, the cells start to divide and start to form new muscle tissues. We let them proliferate until we have trillions of cells. They can make hamburger. I mean, I'm not kidding now. This is the same technology, stem cell technology, that they use in medical research and in the medical field to do what? Repair organs. Stem cells. They use it in cardiology. I mean, stem cells, that is a pathway into the future. No doubt. I'm a big fan. Turns out Bill Gates and Richard Branson, they've got more money than they have sense, to both together, are investing $17 million in the in vitro meat company Memphis Meats, which produce laboratory-grown meat for meatballs and other products. Are you serious, man? Come on. What is the advantage? I wonder.
I know why.
Why?
With Bill Gates. Bill Gates believes his money is better spent in other countries because he gets more bang for his buck.
And they're going to sell. They're going to do this for the feed the poor and
the poor
and the hungry worldwide.
Yep.
There's also a global warming, climate change aspect to this as well. With there's with the cow population, the methane gas that they release.
You're right.
A huge impact on that, and people might glom on to the idea of, okay, well, this is going to help with that situation, so why don't we just clone these?
That's a wonderful
animals?
point, Stephen. You remind me. Yeah. You remind me of the Environmental Working Group, and if you go there, they have some excellent reports and articles on climate change, and I'll see if I can find this one report. To your point, that the toll on the environment in feeding the animals, growing the animals, and whatnot, so that we can eat meat, is formidable. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, sometimes even the most sinister sounding things can have a positive benefit.
It doesn't sound so sinister as it sounds odd.
Sci-fi. It's like a sci-fi movie. I mean, Soylent Green almost.
Soylent Green.
Can you remember the name of the actor? I'll give you a hint. Out of My Cold Dead Hands.
It was Heston?
Yes, sir. Charlton Heston. Soylent Green. I remember seeing it in the movies. They were eating humans. Oh, my. How does it taste, do you think? Well, in the CNN article, they said that to achieve public acceptance, industry leaders agree in vitro meat must taste the same, if not better, than conventional meat. You think? There is a book called Clean Protein, The Revolution That Will Shape Your Body. See if you can find that, Gary. Clean Protein, The Revolution That Will Reshape Your Body. A woman by the name of Kathy Freston and Bruce Friedrich, they wrote the book. They've tried chicken and duck there's a company called Memphis Meats. They're doing this as I speak to you. And these two authors concluded that the products both look and taste identical to traditional meat. You can't tell the difference. You heard it first. You heard it here on Let's Talk Nutrition. And we are talking nutrition. You talk about processed. That's about as processed as it gets, man. They're making meat from stem cells.
Have you ever had raw meat from meat that was not grain-fed, that was just grass-fed, 100% grass-fed? Yeah. It's got a wild taste to it.
Yeah.
And, they grain feed them, one, for bulk, and two, to get the taste.
Have you eaten venison? Have you eaten deer? Venison?
Yeah. Oh, look at me, Doc. Come on. I'm that guy.
Doesn't it taste a little wild?
Yes.
In quotes?
Yes.
Have you ever eaten buffalo?
No.
It's good.
Really?
Back in the day, I've had buffalo meat. Bison.
Okay.
Never had a bison burger?
No.
Oh, man. I shouldn't encourage this.
Ostrich is good, too.
I've had ostrich.
Now, I've had ostrich, and I've had emu. And very, very good.
I put emu on my boots. Emu oil. Ostrich is very good, Stephen. It's low in fat, high in protein. It's excellent. But I don't eat meat. I know some people are eating meat with their meat served up with more meat.
Have you discovered that your post-activity electrolyte drink contains a lot?
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering, you're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit TakeSolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
So now they're going to be growing meat. They are growing meat in a lab using stem cells. Interesting.
It's because I mean it made CNN. That's where I got the story from.
Yeah, if you go,
impressive.
You'll find it there. They have some photographs. You can actually see this this clean meat, as they call it. Paul Shapiro, he's author of a book entitled Clean Meat: How Growing Meat Without Animals Will Revolutionize Dinner and the World. They've made beef, duck, fish, foie gras, and they say that taste like meat because they are meat. And they're using stem cells. And Gary, if you're watching the show, is showing you, pardon me, showing you photographs of the meat. Memphis Meats. They even make they have one photo. There's a photo there, an image of chicken, fried chicken that they made. You can call it test tube meat, whatever you want to. They've made chicken nuggets, sausage, foie gras, in vitro meat. Wow. This is, I'm reporting on this now. Today's date. What's the date? March the 2nd, 2018. You heard it here, and you're going to walk into a store and you're going to see it, and some of you may even buy it and try it. There you go. Buy it and try it. Before the end of, a fellow by the name of Tetrick said that, quote, before the end of 2018 is an accurate timeline, close quote, for some products to be offered in a number of restaurants in the U.S. and Asia. And they're going to start with chicken nuggets and sausage and foie gras. Clean meat they're predicting might be on the shelves by 2021. A couple of years, 3 years. I think it might make it before that. It's sold at a premium. It's called Clean Meat. It's sold at a premium. Yeah, you might pay $11 for a hamburger. But this. I don't know how people are going to react to that. I just don't know. There's a company called Moza Meats Post. Moza Meats Post on Moza Meats at their website said the lengthy regulatory approval process is one of the reasons it will take a few years before the company can get their products to market. The FDA is going to have to monitor that. They're claiming that this in vitro meat, clean meat, sci-fi meat, whatever you want to call it, will help reduce foodborne illness. This fellow named Post from Moza Meats said that, quote, the meat we produce is by definition sterile, close quote. Most of the contamination that does happen with meat, with the meat supply, happens at the slaughter during the slaughtering process, and then you get cross-contamination through cross-contamination with intestines when they're slaughtering the animals. Yuck. They are also claiming that this clean meat, this stem cell grown laboratory meat, is healthier for waistlines. They're claiming in this CNN article. I don't know. We'll see. This is really unique. They claim that this fellow named Post from Moza Meats said that they can produce clean meat to contain healthy fats such as the omega-3s if you think about it, they can do they can start to add nutrients that otherwise wouldn't be in the meat if they want to, I think. I don't know. How do you all think? What do you think? Listening and watching the show, would you purchase that meat? Would you eat it? It would be interesting to have a taste test to see if people can distinguish between the clean meat and the meat grown, traditional meat. Now, our show is in the Midwest, and there are a lot of cattle ranchers and farmers. I wonder what they're thinking about this. This could hurt their industry. With every gain there's a loss. With some losses there's a gain, as the saying goes. I wonder about that. And then the environmentalists will get all over this because, Stephen, I'm telling you, man, you were right on the money. If you go to Environmental Working Group, in July of 2011, they wrote a report, Guide to Climate Change and Health. Meat, eat less, eat greener, they said. In that report, it's a nice report. They talk about meat, eggs, and dairy growing that food supply. The animals involved is a hit on the environment. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time throwing the meat, the meat. I'm not ideological about this, but the carbon footprint. They said that from 1971 to 2010, worldwide production of meat tripled to around 600 billion pounds globally, and grew by 81%. At that rate, they predict that by 2050, approximately 1.2 trillion pounds of meat per year will be produced. And that's going to require what? More water, more land, more fuel, more pesticides, and more fertilizer. And that enlarges our carbon footprint. And that does significant damage to the planet and global health. Something to think about. And now you're caught, with, what about the cattle farm? What ranchers and whatnot? I mean, they got to make a living, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. We're just reporting on this story about meat grown in a lab using stem cells. It's called Clean Meat. There are companies in operation right now. Memphis Meats, Moza Meats, a fellow named Post at Moza Meats. This is a reality. They're doing it as we speak. I suspect that you will, within the next 2 to 3 years, maybe sooner, you're going to be able to buy these products. And from what I'm reading here and what's being reported by others, that it's supposed to taste pretty good. Now, I wonder what the hell if they can make it leaner, right? There should be no fat in it. I don't know. They're using stem cells. They're taking these stem cells from animals. I don't know enough about this yet to make any comment about that. I just wonder if the meat were leaner and there are no health risks associated with it. They claim that there's less contamination, foodborne illness reduced, and so on. Nutrient rich. I'm looking for the downside. I can't seem to find any criticism yet. But I haven't dug into it enough. I'm sure there's always something, as Rosanna Dana used to say. It's always something out there. We'll see if we can find it. Here's how you can connect to the show. You don't need stem cells to do it.
No, you can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Let's Talk Nutrition, or join us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, one word, and you can actually send a message to us. We go over them and respond back quickly. We actually have a good responder rate on that.
Yeah. There's just, again, there's so much out there in the world that's going on, and if you go to the Environmental Working Group, I refer people to that website often, that organization. They do a pretty good job. Now, I'm sensitive to, we have affiliates that are in the heart of cattle country and whatnot. And these cattle ranchers, cattle farmers, whatever, how they're referred to these days, they're earnest people making good products. I don't happen to eat meat, but you never hear me tell people on the show, don't do that. You make the choice. And it has a purpose and a place. Given my health circumstances and my life and my age and all the variables taken into consideration, I've made this a switch away from it. It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I don't tell people that I'm telling people not to do it. I would tell you to be very careful, especially with processed luncheon meats and whatnot. I could entertain you for a long time, and I know the literature very well, and I can give you chapter and verse about the connection between eating meat and cancer and certain kinds of meats. I mean, I could lay that all out for you, but then I sound, you start to sound like an ideologue, and I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, you have to, if you're going to eat meat, be careful and wise about it. Let's go to Tampa, Florida. Bill, welcome to the show.
Hi, Doctor. What you're talking about the last few days with, Mother Nature beating us down and so forth, and I almost picture Mother Nature as this robust, matronly person with big boxing gloves on. From the time we're born, she's just trying to squash us down. But, according to, your information, we can sort of stave that off by tricking Mother Nature into thinking, through hormone therapy or supplements and so forth that... and stop that aging process a little bit.
Well, you can moderate. Well, this is this topic is very provocative. It affects every single person listening and watching this show, and that will ever live, has lived, It's one of those topics that cuts across all boundaries. It is filled with controversy, and it is filled with a lot of bad science and a lot of good science. So you have to sort through it very carefully.
It still doesn't underscore the fact is what you always say. It's the quality of life. If your genes say you're living to see, how are you going to live till 60 or 70 or 80 or 90? But, one thing they don't factor in, and that's we're spirit beings, as you are well aware, in practice, I'm sure, and that supersedes anything else, really, anything.
Well, we are. I think I understand what you mean. But I do not underestimate the determining force of biology. I just don't. It's sort of like mathematics, that's a very precise science, as many of the sciences are. There's something about biology. I often say you can't bargain with biology, meaning that if you try to cheat it, trick it, whatnot, sooner or later it figures it out, and you'll fall prey to it anyway. But maybe rather than trying to bargain with biology, maybe we try to understand it better and figure out what biologically what's happening to us. Your part about us being spiritual beings, we evolved to be self-reflective. We're the only species of animal that can do that we know of, where we can reflect. We're self-reflexive. We can think about our thinking, and that separates us and makes us, gives us a conscience, empathy, and all these things that make us very, very unique and different. We're not just some biological organism that's put on the planet to reproduce, and that's it. If you follow my drift, Bill.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is we need to work within the parameters of biology for the best results, but all the time realizing there is limitations to that.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. You know what? And if you have a circumstance in life where you're threatened, where your life is threatened with a disease or just threatened, it changes your, I'm thinking a lot differently about a lot of things, and that's why I wanted to revisit this topic on aging. And I'm rereading some of the things I've read over the years, and I'm reading it now with a different point of view and a different sense and understanding and purpose. And I read some of these writers, and they're talking about disease, and it's in the abstract. For me, it's not in the abstract. Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning in today. And I want to thank Bill for calling in. His comment about aging and Mother Nature, all week I've been alluding to it and then talking directly about, I'm writing a series on aging. I'm revisiting that arena, and I'm going to write a series. I'm now looking at diet and nutrition connected to aging. What do we, and we know a lot, and there's so much literature there. This leads me to sharing something with you. In the first hour, we talked about, and I spent the whole hour talking about this new development where they're making meat in a lab using stem cells. Now, that sounds a little science fiction in nature to some. I even call it science fiction meat. But sci-fi meat in your nearest grocery store. It's going to happen. It is happening. Moza Meats, Memphis Meats, these are companies and they're growing the meat in the lab using stem cells. And you're going to be able to buy it, and you're going to hear a lot more about it, and I'll probably report on it, and there's much to come. Yesterday, when I was working, I was going through the literature on diet and nutrition and aging, and I must have reviewed 200-300 articles yesterday. I was going through them, trying to find the ones that were relevant and that I could use and would mean it. Along the way, as I was going through this one database, and I almost missed it, I saw the word apples in the title of the article, and I skimmed right by it, and I stopped, and I took the cursor and I went back. Here's the title of the article: A Comprehensive Review of Apples and Apple Components and Their Relationship to Human Health. Now, we go from stem cell grown meat back to basics. And I want to share this with you. I mean, people keep asking me, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And I keep saying, embrace the plants. Embrace the plants. Go with the plants. Plant yourself with the plants. Are you saying, Dr. Garko, I shouldn't eat meat? No, I'm not telling you that. You have to figure that out. I report, is there a healthy way to eat meat? I think there is. For me, probably not. But nevertheless, it's the plants. And you don't have to abandon or ban meats from the menu globally. That's not necessary. It has a valid place, and in our evolution, we've consumed meat. We're omnivores. All that being said, and when I make a case for a plant-based diet, you should not assume that I am making a case against the consumption of meat. I'm not. This article, I'm holding it up. You can see it's all marked up here. I had this. I sort of smiled about it. I told Gary a moment ago, I said, you won't believe what I found yesterday. I found a review of the literature on apples. On apples.
Apples.
Right? All this esoteric stuff that I read, I'm involved in, and even I write. And I find this review of the literature on apples and apple products. And I'm going to share with you just to keep us grounded. I'm a great believer in first principles. I am my heart, and I'm telling you, I'm disclosing to you, I firmly believe you have to always have a basic set of first principles that most likely you were taught as a child or somewhere along the line in your life experience, life education, or formal education. And those first principles are guiding For me, they are, because they capture your values, your beliefs, and your attitudes. And there's an assumption here that these first principles are ones that lead you to a good place. And in the world of nutrition, the basic, most fundamental first principle is the consumption of plants. That's my opinion, and I firmly believe that. This review of the literature on apples, as I was reading it, had an impact on me, of all things. And again, I'm reading some very heady, esoteric, thin ether stuff all the time. It's very profound and whatnot. But I was reading this humble little article on apples and had such a huge impact on it. It reminded me to remind myself and to remind you that we should not move away from those first principles of nutrition and diet. No matter how complicated things get and sophisticated and new supplements coming out and new science here and that. There are people in this world right now, even living in the Mediterranean basin as we speak, living in these villages that eat in a very simple, humble way, but it is as wholesome as they come. And where health is experienced with great favor and delight, and there's longevity and quality of life, and there's no dietitians there, no nutritionists running around telling them what to do, and they're making out just fine, thank you very much. That data is important too, and they're eating apples, I can assure you. I'll share with you in this hour what I learned in this article about, of all things, apples. I know. Probably some of my colleagues who are radio talk show hosts are thinking, what's the matter with you, man? You're not going to keep the audience interest in that. You're not going to be able to, that giant click you're going to hear is them changing the station. Well, we'll see about that. Here's how to connect.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Alexa too now. The Alexa.
You have to tell.
Okay, so if you have an Alexa in your house, you can go and ask Alexa to.
Who is Alexa?
I don't know who it is.
What's it associated with?
Amazon.
All right.
And it'll play. You can ask it to play Let's Talk Nutrition, and it'll play it for you.
What did you say, Stephen? You can talk to. What about Google? Google. Okay.
It's on Google too? No, I didn't hear him.
He'll tell you. He's busy at the moment.
Is he? Okay.
He'll grab his headset when he gets here.
Yeah, no, I was peeling an egg.
Go ahead.
But as Gary was saying, it works on Alexa, and then you just say, Alexa, play Let's Talk Nutrition, and it'll just dial it up through the iHeart app, I believe, or not sure what it's actually linked to, but same thing works for the Google device, the Google Home. You say, okay, Google, play Let's Talk Nutrition.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay. All right. You see, the world's changing. You can count on that. That's a first principle. Change is
evident
all the time. It is evident, and immutable. Apples and Apple products. I'm going to share with you some of what we know. There are researchers who study these things, and this article is a review of the literature of the science of all things apples. Apples. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah, you know what? It certainly does, and it keeps away disease, and it seems to have an impact on aging. A good impact. How about that? How about them apples?
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends, Virilomax, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension. Exclusively available on Amazon.com.
A day keeps the doctor away. Boy, oh boy. I don't know what the genesis... Gary, see if you can find the genesis of that old saying. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. The etiology of that old saying. As I was sharing with you yesterday, I was going through the literature. I went through a couple hundred articles yesterday, and I came across this one I was looking at diet and nutrition as related to aging. And along the way, I came across a review of the literature on apples. It's a comprehensive review of apples and apple products and components. Well, I'm thinking, this is not going to... I just started to read it, and next thing you know, I'm turning the pages, and I'm underlining, and I'm saying, oh my God.
Okay, so it comes from the 1860s.
Okay.
And originated in Wales, and is particularly prevalent in Pembrokeshire.
All right.
The first English version of the saying was, eat an apple on going to bed, and you'll keep the doctor from earning his bread.
I'll be darned.
So...
Go with the doctor out of
I
business.
thought it would have been earlier than that, thinking, the whole Johnny Appleseed tale and stuff like that.
Was that 1860?
1860s.
So 19th century, late 19th century, or mid-19th century. That's interesting. And then it evolved into an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Right. I know when I went to Costa Rica, they didn't have apples there because they don't get a frost. So it was like this covenant fruit down there.
Okay. Well, let me share this with you. Make of it what you will. Now, I talk about a lot of complicated things on the show. We do. And there are all kinds of in some dietary supplements, these very complicated, sophisticated compounds. Well, let me just tell you about this apple business. In the United States and in most industrialized countries, we got an epidemic of these chronic diseases, cardiovascular disease, cancer. Those are the top two, among others. Most of these diseases, and there's no ambiguity about this, have been linked directly to diet and lifestyle choices of people. And they estimate, depending on who you read, that about 30%, a healthy diet could prevent about 30% of all cancers. There's no drug that can do that. All right? High cholesterol and obesity, clearly, you know that from listening to the show. You don't even need to listen or watch the show to know that diet and lifestyle bear upon people becoming overweight or obese, and this epidemic of obesity and type 2 diabetes that running off the rails worldwide is because of diet, primarily followed up by and then supported by lifestyle. And it's taking a huge toll on human life, and it's costly and whatnot. High cholesterol. Most of it's a diet-related problem. Now, there's some people that just produce a lot of it, and that's a different issue. I can go on. You get the point. Since you were a kid, I will bet $1. Your parents said to you, eat your vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Eat your vegetables. Eat your fruit. It's good for you. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. I could go all these cliche sayings. Maybe they're not so cliche. There is a body of scientific work to support what our parents told us, and our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and so on. This business about apples, the health benefits of apples. In this one article that I'm looking at, another article came out in 2004, Apple Phytochemicals and Their Health Benefits by Boyer and Liu. That article, they march you through the literature pointing out the health benefits of apples and the epidemiological evidence related to cancer, for example, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, asthma and pulmonary function, weight loss. Let me quote to you a summary from this article where they sum up what I just said there, and they said that based on these epidemiological studies, it appears that apples play a large role in reducing the risk of a wide variety of chronic disease and maintaining a healthy lifestyle in general. Of the papers reviewed, apples were the most consistently associated with reduced risk of cancer, heart disease, asthma, type 2 diabetes when compared to other fruits and vegetables and other sources of flavonoids. Flavonols are a big deal. These phytochemicals in apples. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Continuing to quote the summary of the article, apple consumption was also positively associated with increased lung function and increased weight loss. Partially because of such strong epidemiological evidence supporting the health benefits in apples, there is increasing research using animal and in vitro models that attempt to more clearly explain these health benefits, close quote. I knew, I had, to be honest with you, that's the first review of the literature I ever read on apples. And I've read studies about phenols, polyphenols, and different phytochemical flavonols, flavonoids, and whatnot. Pretty powerful. Apple day keeps the doctor away, boy.
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
health potential of apples and apple-related products, and it's the phytochemicals in apple products to reduce disease risk and improve health, has certainly made its way into scientific literature. Believe it or not, I'm telling you, it's a strong strain or line of research. We're talking about just one thing here: apples. How you like them apples? It's just amazing. We keep looking for all these elegant, complex, sophisticated scientific breakthroughs on how to prevent disease, improve aging, and blah, 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 blah. Eat an apple, man. How about that? And the data are prolific and profound. The phytochemicals in apples really are just amazing. And don't peel the skin, eat it. My guest in this hour is Dominique Ostrander. She is an educator for Jarrow Formulas, and she's been on my show a number of times, and she's one of the guests where we have talked about very complicated, sophisticated things on the show, and especially with supplements. And she's going to mention a couple today that are pretty, how can I put it, cutting edge. Lest we forget the first principles of nutrition. Do not forget them. Eat an apple. Stick with plant yourself with the plants. Dominique, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to have you on.
Thanks, Dr. Garko. Appreciate it. How's everything going today?
Everything's good. We went from talking about sci-fi meat.
I caught that first part about people having meat with their meat and a side of meat and then meat for dessert.
Yeah, and I talked about they're making meat in the lab now using stem cells. And,
oh my gosh.
And there are companies out there, Memphis Meats, Moza Meats. These companies are making meat products in the lab. And it's going to be found in stores. And they claim that it tastes good, smells good, is healthier, less foodborne illness associated with it because you don't have any intestines contaminating meat when they're slaughtering the animals. There's no slaughtering of animals here. These are stem cells. And I went from that to apples.
Wow, it makes me wonder because we're so opposed to genetically engineered foods, right? Non-GMO.
Right.
But I suppose that this doesn't fall into that category.
No, it doesn't. And as one of my producers, Stephen, who is, he's back here behind that glass, doesn't say much, but when he talks, he makes a good point. And I was saying, why are we going down this road? And he said, well, it can have an impact on climate change. And he's right.
Mm-hmm.
The cost to produce the animals, to feed the animals, the water, the fertilizer, the food, the grains and whatnot, the land to grow the animals. Then you have all the manure and then the gas in the air. I mean, it's not good for the planet. And I can just see now arguments being made that this would be a better option for climate change to try to, reduce the growing and consumption of meat, if you will. So I went from that to apples, and I was sharing with the audience that yesterday while I was working, I was going through scores of articles, and I cruised by this one that I saw the word apples in the title, and then I hit the brakes on the mouse, and I went back. And it was a comprehensive review of apples and apple products and the components therein. And I started reading it, and I was blown away by what we know about, the humble little apple. My goodness, it's just phenomenal, the science. clinical trials, you name it, observational studies, experiments, in vitro, in vivo, epidemiological studies. There's on the apple, of all things. There's just the one fruit. And after reading several articles on it, I'm thinking, what are you doing, stupid? You haven't eaten an apple. Well, I couldn't, because I couldn't even taste them. I mean, an apple a day. Gary found the genesis of that saying is from the mid-19th century. What was the original saying, Gary?
An apple before bed. An apple before bed keeps the doctor from earning his bread.
Interesting.
And now we're at an apple that keeps the doctor away. And the phytochemicals, the flavanols, the flavonoids and polyphenols and whatnot in apples, those compounds in terms of anti-cancer, anti-heart disease, I mean, on and on and on. I feel kind of silly that you get caught up in stuff and you move away from first principles and the basics. Eat a damn apple. How about that?
I believe apples also have a prebiotic fiber in them as well, which is one of the reasons why to challenge this, apple a day keeps the doctor away. People that are on, for example, FODMAP diet are told to avoid apples because of this prebiotic fiber, but really the more that you tend to eat that type of food, prebiotics, or foods that are high in fiber, that actually aid in digestion, ultimately. It might be uncomfortable initially. Some people still can't really deal with it. But if you can get your body more accustomed to more fiber, eventually your body does adapt. And apples are great. And like you said, keep the skin on. The skin has so many nutrients in them. But I do believe if someone's going to be eating apples, that they really should aim for organic.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
One of the most heavily sprayed fruits out there.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. It was on my mind. You reminded me to remind the audience. Yes, and grapes as well.
Exactly.
If you're going to eat grapes, if you can eat organic, that's better. A great deal of work has zeroed in on dietary what are called polyphenols, and the subclass, which are flavonoids, which constitute 60% of all polyphenols, and what they call phenolic acids. That's 30% of polyphenols. There are more than 4,000 flavonoids that have been identified. And then the flavonoids are even further subdivided into flavanols, anthocyanidins, and so on. You'll find these in apples. Okay?
As a family-owned company since 19... Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
ETN health question of the day. How many varieties of apples are grown in the United States? How many varieties? 25, 250, or 2,500? How many varieties of apples are grown in the United States? 25, 250, or 2,500? Here's a number to call to win a $25 supplement gift card to Vitamin Discount Center.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
Dominique, welcome back. Do you have any kind of Apple products?
We don't, not off the top of my head. I was actually thinking about that at the break, but I don't think we do. Something tells me that our original Green Defense might have some apple powder in it, or an apple fiber, apple pectin. I'm not 100% sure, but not off the top of my head.
Are you going to Expo West next month? Next week?
I am.
Okay.
God willing.
God willing, exactly. Do you have any breaking news? Are you guys is Zara launching any new products?
We are, and I thought we could save that for our show in March, so we can talk about that. We've launched quite a few new products, and one of them is an outstanding new probiotic. So we can definitely talk more about that.
Okay.
On the next show.
And you'll be working the booth, the Jara booth?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. We're going to come find you then.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
What is the top 2 or 3 for lack of a better way to say it, aging products in your constellation of SKUs or products? What would you say?
The first one, yeah, that's a tough question. The first one that comes to mind, of course, is always CoQ10, because I think it's one of the basics. And then the next one would be PQQ. I think those are probably the top 2 as far as anti-aging.
And do you have them together? Don't you have them together in a product, QH Absorb?
Exactly, we do. We have it's just QH PQQ, and it's 100 milligrams of ubiquinol and 10 milligrams of PQQ.
It's interesting you brought up PPQ. We've been on the aging topic for the past week or so. Somebody called in the other day. We just weren't able to get them on, but they were curious about resveratrol and PPQ helping. I know we can't stop the aging process, helping slow it, and Dominique would have been a great guest to answer that question. With
resveratrol. You have more. Thank you, Stephen. You have more than a few resveratrol.
We do. Our resveratrol Synergy is a great product. It's got some other things in it besides resveratrol, and again, more in it along the lines of talking about apples. We're talking about polyphenols, anthocyanins.
These are the compounds. Those are the compounds found in apples.
Does the resveratrol? Does the resveratrol, if you take it, it doesn't give you the shakes? It's a natural energy, right?
No, it's not. It's not any metabolic boost or anything like that. No.
Okay.
It's an antioxidant-rich product. Go ahead, Dominique. Go ahead.
There's no thermogenesis with resveratrol, which is what you're referring to. So, like fast heart rate, increased blood pressure, all of that. There's none of that with resveratrol. In fact, we don't have a product that will create, even our green tea won't cause that because the theanine content is so high, which moderates any of the caffeine found naturally in green tea. But anyway, so the resveratrol, as far as anti-aging, with PQQ is a great combination. The only time I ever say that a woman should avoid taking resveratrol is if she has had any estrogen-driven cancer, then she should avoid resveratrol.
You mentioned, trying to keep track of you here, all things that the green tea. It turns out that the compounds in green tea are phenomenal anti-cancer compounds, yes?
Yes, emphatically yes.
You all don't make teas per se. You make green tea related supplements, but you don't make green tea.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
The closest thing we have to a tea is our golden tea, which is a turmeric drink. It's a powder that you mix with warm to hot water or almond milk or any other beverage of your choice.
You do sell apple cider vinegar.
We do.
And it's organic.
Yes.
Right? Don't you?
Yes.
I hear all kinds of things about people using apple cider vinegar for...
Okay, see, I thought this was a gimmick, so explain this to me. You see it all the time, apple cider vinegar. So.
What are some of the things people use apple cider vinegar for, Dominique?
Well, they're using it again, like we talked about. I think it was on our last radio show. So we're talking about maintaining alkalinity in the body.
Yeah.
So people do a spoon. Well, it depends on how often they're doing it, but a tablespoon, or they'll do a couple tablespoons a few times a day to bring alkalinity to the body.
Now, it here is a weight loss.
Right, exactly.
Why?
Exactly. Well, a lot of people believe that if you're more alkaline, that helps promote weight loss.
Oh.
I haven't seen any studies for that, and I'm not saying that they don't exist. I haven't seen it. You have Jarrow organic apple cider vinegar. Since I was on apples today, we didn't have any callers on the question. How many varieties? There's more than, here's a hint. There's more than you think. How many varieties of apples are grown in the United States? 25, 250? Let me do it this way. 25 or 2,500? And the clue is there's more than you think. How many varieties of apples are grown in the United States? 25 or 2,500? Speed dial, and we'll give you the prize even if we're going off here.
877-897-8255. 877-897-8255.
And across the world, there are 7,500 varieties of apples grown throughout the world. There's another big hint. A medium apple has only about 80 calories, and I could go on and on, but Apple Day keeps the doctor away. I'll give you a call off air. We'll chat, okay? Are you available off air today?
Sounds great, Dr. Greco. Yes, this afternoon, for sure.
This afternoon, not now, though.
Not now.
Not now. You're busy. Well, thank you. Jerome from Tampa won, and congratulations, Jerome. And we went from stem cell meat to apples. I'm going with the apples right now. Your health is your wealth.